same clip, same joke, same face. Yeah, I'm over it. New tab, new flame, new show, new name. We don't play the same lane, we don't shake the same frame. One night it's cold cases, next night main pages. Headline heat, biggest waves without beat. Hit replay every week, new crew talking, new chair, new host walking. Spin the wheel of what's trending, and say the thing they all defending. But this is no safe tapes, uncensored conversation, unfiltered, unapologetic. We ask every question, true crime, pop culture. What's breaking while you wait? Take a break from the boring. Come get lost in no safe takes, no safe takes, no safe takes. Take a break from the boring. Come get loud with no safe takes.
Hello, everybody. Hi. My avatar isn't in StreamYard, so when I turn my camera off, I'm just gonna be, I think it's a shark. My only option was Jonesin, Nanya, Dietz. I think it was a fridge and a shark. So I'm gonna be this shark. Is that a shark, Tess?
Yeah, it looks like a shark or a catfish, one or the other. It's a aquatic animal.
Oh, am I a catfish?
Oh yeah, it looks like a catfish to me, I think.
Oh, never mind. I am not a shark. I am a catfish. But welcome in, everyone. Welcome, Taz. We are
Hey
back.
there.
It has been a while.
So excited.
I noticed that now, Nanya. I was like, because when I flip my camera off and I'm like, oh man, I am not here. Like, I'm not one of the avatars. So this was like the closest I had to me. So, Tess has unexpected tentacle.
I have unexpected tentacles. I do, actually. Today, I have tentacles.
Tess has unexpected tentacle difficulties. So her camera's not going to be able to get on. I'll just flip on back and forth. But we are going to have our crap together moving forward. I know you guys all want to see our lovely faces, and we're going to work towards that. Blame Spectrum.
Blames. I even did my makeup today, and then for
she
nothing.
even did her makeup. So
unhappy.
But Tess has tentacles. I meant to say technical difficulties, but it's been a long day. But we are glad to be back. Tonight's episode, we are officially on episode 10 of our live streams, which is pretty amazing. I think this is a big milestone, episode 10. And what better way to celebrate than to do a conspiracy night?
Love it.
We love conspiracy nights. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to play our disclaimer.
Everything you hear is the personal opinion of whoever is talking at the moment. Their takes are theirs and theirs alone. Nobody else on the panel is responsible for what comes out of someone else's mouth. We don't share brains, group chats, or legal teams. You may get offended at some point. Please accept our apology now because we will not be issuing individual apologies later. We are not customer support. Nothing you hear on this show is medical advice, psychological advice, legal advice, financial advice, spiritual advice, or advice from anyone who knows what they're doing. If you need real help, please consult a doctor, therapist, lawyer, accountant, pastor, mechanic, or literally any adult with certifications. Not us, never us. Not every topic is for you, and that's okay. Take what you like, leave the rest for someone else. The internet has plenty of other mess for you to enjoy. We encourage adult conversations and respectful discourse in the chat. Debate ideas, disagree respectfully, but don't attack people just because their opinion activated your villain origin story. Also, YouTube gave you a block button for a reason. Use it. It's cheaper than therapy. All right, now that the legal stuff is out of the way, let's get into these unsafe takes.
Ooh, what a good disclaimer. I was going to say, Nanya, this is a good reminder that I need to redo this disclaimer thing. Yes, but it's good. It covers all bases. That is why I like it. Hello, Harlot. We have Tiny. We have Lisa, Solo Angel Mom, Grandma Sherry with the tentacle difficulties. We have Twisty, Coffee and Skeletons. We have Chasing. Hello, welcome in, everybody. And this is a perfect time for our replay crew video. So even if you cannot make the live stream, we see you guys. We appreciate you guys on the replay crew. You guys get a big shout out. So here is this evening's replay crew video. Okay, shout out to the replay crew. Now, before we even get started, the first thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is please hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. We are so happy to be back, and we are going to fall a little bit down a rabbit hole, which I feel like, Tess, you and I are very good at doing. And so the first thing I wanted to ask you guys, because I've been talking about this like little whispers here and there, are you familiar with the conspiracy around Beyonce's belly bump back in the day when she was pregnant?
Oh, yes.
You are?
I am. Where it moved?
Yeah,
Or
where
deflated?
it deflated. Talk
Correct.
about tentacles. That baby bump, I think she was pregnant with Blue Ivy, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, and Meghan
Yeah, I
Markle
think
too,
it was.
Grandma. So everyone knows what, like, and this is kind of more the conspiracy part of this, because I think the baby bump is without a doubt legit. Like there's just no way that this is an actual bump. Okay.
No.
But I think more the conspiracy part in this specific video is about Wendy Williams. So everyone knows what happened with Wendy Williams. She had a severe health decline, but the conspiracy surrounding it is Wendy continued to expose things like this on her show, and then which I don't necessarily align with. And again, let me preface this live with saying, just because we discuss the conspiracy does not necessarily mean we believe it. They're just some fun conspiracies to discuss. But like I said, I definitely 100% believe this is not a real pregnancy. I think that this was a moon bump. What do you think it was, Tess?
Oh, I'm assuming that they probably had a surrogate, but she didn't want people to know. That would be my common sense take on it, is that she wanted people to think that she was pregnant, and either it was a surrogate of their own child, or maybe someone else had a kid for them.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that she used a surrogate, but didn't want it to be known. So let's watch this video.
I'd say recently, like last Sunday, appeared on an Australian show. And when she sat down, the baby bump squashed, bent, and crumpled. Hold on. As ridiculous as it sounds, I did my research and we've got the video to prove. Hold on. So people started questioning, was this baby bump real or fake? Now take a look at the video. Okay, so here's Beyonce and she's walking out and everything is fine. She's 5 months pregnant. Then she sits down and, okay, no, we're gonna rerun it until you see it. Let's do do it in slow motion, you'll notice she's either giving birth to a frisbee or Stewie from Family Guy. Look at the shape. Look, do you see? There it is. There it is. Okay, now let's bring it back and freeze it. Yeah, oh yeah, we're analyzing. There it is. What is that?
That the former talk show host has been diagnosed with a form of dementia.
Heartbreaking news. Wendy Williams is suffering from dementia and aphasia.
Now, again, do I think what happened to Wendy has anything to do with? No, I don't. I think she's just really genuinely struggling with health issues, and bless her. But let me just go back, mute it, and watch this stuff slow down, okay?
Oh, yeah. And even more than just, there are other conspiracies, or it kind of seems like fact, that when people go up against Beyonce, like at the award show, people that don't thank her have all these things happen to them, like their sales tank. And have you heard that before? It
Yes.
seems like it's like a thing. You have to thank Beyonce. And there's even a conspiracy that's why Kanye West got up way back when he got up on stage.
Yes,
Taylor
with
Swift went on there. Yeah, because he was protecting her from
Beyonce.
From
the
Beyonce.
Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody isn't familiar with like the conspiracy stuff, the Illuminati, it is widely known in that world that Beyonce runs shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But look at her bump. Okay. Everything looks normal. Everything looks fine until. Okay. Boop, boop. All right. It's starting to deflate. I don't know about your guys' pregnancies. Mine didn't do that. Okay. Did yours, Tess?
No, it did not. Never deflated. Only kept going.
So look at that. Look at that. Okay. So I see Nanya. Is this the proof? This is the proof. This is all the proof you need. That is not. Absolutely not.
That's not what a baby bump does.
Harlot says they claim Britney Spears had dementia to get control over her and the money. I wouldn't be surprised if someone did it to Wendy Williams also. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Look at that. Whoop. That's just, I don't care what side of the fence you sit on. That is not a pregnancy.
It doesn't smush like that though, Nanya. Look at that. That's like smushed.
Nanya. Yes, does the baby in the womb have the capability of moving up and down a bit? Absolutely. Does the bump itself with the fluid have the ability to deflate? No, it doesn't. No.
And if you look there, it's folded over pretty much.
Yeah. Right. When you're pregnant, you don't arch forward. When you sit, you arch backward and use one hand to brace yourself.
Good point.
Me too, Twisty. And you know what? That's a whole other discussion, because there are times where there are things going on in the world, very important things. And hi, fur baby. Conveniently, things like Wendy's episode where she strangely passes out. You have to ask, is that a distraction for the mass? Right. Look at that. Look at that. I'm sorry. I just don't. It's not.
Yeah, it's just very strange. Because look at it. It looks normal there at the beginning.
It looks normal.
It just kind of like.
And it goes.
Like an accordion. Look at that.
And yeah, I had to go off camera for that.
That was amazing.
Thank you. I worked on that. I used my tentacle.
Did you?
Okay. Well, let's pivot for a second, okay? Because Tess, I know you're already familiar with this because I talk about this all the time, but I want to get maybe people who aren't as familiar with this, their thought process. So I don't know if there is some type of time traveling ability, okay? But if you take a stroll in history, you will find that there are people who look identical to celebrities that exist today. Now, you can say it's a doppelganger for anybody who isn't interested, who isn't familiar with what a doppelganger is. That is someone who looks exactly like you, a complete stranger, though. This isn't that, in my opinion. There are some where I could be like, oh, okay, you just happen to look like that person. And then there are situations like Judy fucking Zipper. If you have Judy Zipper, this is Judy Zipper.
Every
This
time you
is
say
Judy Zipper. Okay.
Judy Zipper, it
And
makes me laugh.
before Nunya turns around and says, well, that's not a real person. Yes, it is. I researched Judy Zipper because I couldn't for the life of me believe that that is not Leonardo DiCaprio. It's not. That's Judy
Zipper.
Okay? And she's a real person. Now, that is uncanny. That creeps my soul. It creeps me to my soul. What are your thoughts, Taz?
I can't explain it. It looks so much like him. And when he's little, like it looks like him on Growing Pains, or looks like him on, when he Gilbert Grape. It looks
What's eating Gilbert?
Yes, that's Gilbert Grape, not Judy Zipper.
I know. Hi, Oki. And then he's like, all right, I stopped typing. I believe in time travel as weird and strange things happen to researchers of it. You're right. Listen, time travel is real. It's just, and like, it's proven to be real because, again, time is not linear. Time is subjective. And I remember we had a long discussion of this with Nunya and stuff in the Discord. It was a really great discussion, actually, because basically the way that time works, it's relative, right? I'm not trying to lose everybody, but let me put it this way. The Andromeda Galaxy, which is our closest neighboring galaxy, if hypothetically speaking, they had the ability to have a ginormous telescope that looked at Earth. Right now, when they look at Earth, they would see the dinosaurs roaming. Well, obviously, that's not now, right? That's in our past. But relative to their galaxy, with how long it takes for light to travel, that is what they'd see now. So all I'm saying, that was a long tangent just to say, time travel is real. It's just not in the sense that everybody always associates with it, with the grandfather paradox, right? If I could go back in time and shoot my grandfather, would I ever cease to exist? But yes, it is real. And the best depiction I could give you of time travel that is accurate is the movie Interstellar. They had multiple scientists working on that movie, and that is the most accurate depiction of time travel that you can get. That's it's factual. It's not just about a movie.
It's not just about a DeLorean.
Yes. Oh, nope, we're going the wrong way. Okay,
Have you
let's
seen
take a
the
look.
Travis Kelce one yet? There's a new one I've never seen. It's Travis Kelce, and he's this guy that's on the the Stagecoach people. It looks just like him. I did the research on the guy because I'm like, this is so weird.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up.
You have to look it up, and it will freak you out. It looks so much like him.
Oh, Edgar Allan Poe.
What is the Pony Express? He's a Pony Express guy.
I'm gonna have to look. At this. Nunya says, is it possible these people are in their lineage somehow, somewhere?
Maybe,
possibly, but not Judy. Judy wasn't. I could tell you because I looked Judy up.
maybe Leo was adopted by Judy Zipper.
You know what,
mom or
Tess? It just reminded me of what Nunya said. I recently, last week, saw a video about this girl who did a project, and she was able to trace back every single president in our history, aside from one, maybe two, to the same bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
And I was mind blown. She did her work. This was a little girl. She did her work, and it was accurate. Every single one of our former presidents.
Yep.
But you're telling me this ain't Eddie Murphy? God, try to convince me.
No, it's
You
him.
can't. That's him. That is him. What do I think? I think that they have some capabilities with I have a tinfoil hat on each of my tentacles right now. Okay. I think, and on one of my tentacles, I'm theorizing that they have mastered the art of time travel. And there have been whistleblowers who have spoken out about it. Do I think it's so far out of the realm of possibilities? No, I don't. But I almost feel like they're going back in time, photographing themselves just to fuck with us in current day.
That would probably make the most sense.
That's Eddie Murphy. What do you mean that's not Eddie Murphy? What more is it gonna take, Nunya?
Look at
What
that
more is
nose,
it gonna
Nunya.
take? That is Eddie. All right. Well, we got Judy. We got Eddie. What about Nicolas Cage? Anyone? Nunya? No? Is that not Nicholas? I say it like on a first name basis. Is that not the Nicholas you know?
Yeah. The ear's a little wonky, but yeah.
Ear's a little wonky. Or maybe we're getting into like the clone theories.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not even time travel versus cloning.
Maybe he got stuck in the machine a little bit too long and it melted his face.
It warped him a little bit, okay? Justin. He's bringing sexy back. Yeah.
Always.
That looks like a rougher
so
Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Does it not? It looks like a rougher Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The eyes, the hairline. This one has always freaked me out because that
freaks me out.
Like the hairline is the exact same.
The dimple in the chin.
Yeah.
The dimple in the chin. Come on. Uh-oh. Welcome, Nunya.
Listen, I want to know first, the people in the original old school photo, right? One, where did that photo come from? Who researched and went and found that photo? Like, what is the source of that photo?
Like, who found the first one?
They are
okay,
you
know
can
who
find
Judy
them.
is, right? You know that lady's name is Judy Zipper, maybe from the photo. But like, I want to know who actually went back. Also, I'd like to point out, if you want me to believe that that's Eddie or Nick or John or Justin, right? Then is there anything that shows me like their voice, their mannerisms, something other than a picture which can be doctored?
Nunya, do you see the time period we're working with here? You want what? A TikTok from this dude?
Yes, a YouTube video, something.
No.
Is there
that's
like old school? What's the Charlie Chaplin version of a movie from him? Was he an actor in his past life?
To be fair, all information has been pulled on these people. I just like grabbed the screenshots because I like the images, but there has been thorough research where people like can pinpoint exactly who it is in history. I just didn't do all that.
Right.
Okay. So for me, just based off of a picture saying it's them, that's not enough for me. I'm not saying anybody else can't believe it, but based off of a picture alone, that would not be enough to prove it to me.
I'm not saying it's proof, but what I'm saying is it's weird as fuck. Is it not? Can we agree that there are uncanny similarities?
See, and to me, I don't think it's weird. The reason why I don't think it's weird is because I do believe that, like, over time, you know, like, there's been times where, like, people marry their cousins because they just didn't know that that person was in there, you know, not the ones who marry their cousins on purpose. I'm saying the ones who accidentally marry their cousins because they didn't know their lineage. They didn't know that connection. So, yeah, I imagine that if I went back decades and, you know, generation after generation after generation in Melissa Jade's family, I do think I could eventually find somebody who may be the male version of Melissa or the female version, old school, of Melissa. That doesn't mean Melissa time traveled.
Okay. Do you know how no two people have the same fingerprints, right? Right? Because we would be screwed when it comes to crime if people had the
Yes.
same fingerprints. They say the
Yes.
same exact thing regarding faces. And I'm not saying that these are absolutely identical. I'm just saying, like, kind of keep that in mind. It's not as common as you think to have, like, hey, over time there's only so many noses and eyes and ears, and it's we got to have repetition. No two faces are the same, even when
You've
it
never
comes to
seen a kid
twins.
who looks just like one of their parents?
Yes, but it's not just like one of their parents. Like, we see the similarities. Wow, you have your mom's eyes, your expressions. Please don't mistaken expressions for characteristics.
No,
A lot
not
of times it's the
expressions.
expressions too. But either way, you could point out the similarity, the differences, not just the similarities. No two are identical. I didn't say that they can't be extremely close, but no two faces are identical.
Right.
So you think that these two faces are exactly identical?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's close enough to make me go, what the fuck? I mean, granted, they're celebrities, but find me a Melissa J. I don't even look like my family now, Nunya. Find me someone that I look like in history like this.
Chat, that is your quest. You need to find someone in the past that looks like Melissa Jade.
Good luck.
Can you imagine? You'd be
Yeah,
totally
I think
freaked
it.
out.
I think it wouldn't be hard to find people who look like you in the past. Again, of course,
Maybe.
with some differences for sure. But even in these ones, which, like, to me, John Travolta has had work, so I feel like that's an unfair
Oh,
photo.
yeah.
But like even the Eddie one, yeah, like Eddie's half brother, he looks just like him. Chris Rock's brother, Tony Rock, they look just alike. Again, are there some differences between them? Sure. I just don't know,
Yeah.
how do you end up at like like these people could potentially be time travelers just because they look like these older, these older photo people.
I'm saying anything is possible. And again, just because I discuss it doesn't necessarily mean I align 100% with it. I like to just have fun. But when I look at these, I'm like, huh, is it possible? Now, granted, maybe my mind is filled with whistleblowers and scientists who have spoken about time travel. And so part of me is like, well, what do the elite do? They mess with us all the time. So do I automatically jump to this is that? No. But am I open to anything with more proof? Hell yeah. Like, I don't cross it out of the realm of possibilities.
Right.
Okay, wait. So High Five in the Sky So High said, if you told me this old school Nicolas Cage and the old school John Travolta, sorry, try to swap faces back in the day, who were the old school Nicolas Cage broke into
funny.
a warehouse and stole a 1910 Ford. Right. If that's the case, High Five, we're out. We're out.
They had some face-off situations. Back with like the old school cameras though, like that blew up every time you took a photo. Like they were doing the face-off, okay?
That's so funny. It is kind of a strange coincidence that so many celebrities have them, though.
Yes, I think that's what it is, Tess. Not so much that like they exist, but they're also like the same weight, the same structure. Like it's not like look at that, look at Steve Carell.
God, they got Steve Carell time traveling too.
They all.
Yes.
There's so many.
Tell me if all I'm asking, if Steve could time travel, is this not the exact photo you'd expect to see?
I like his mustache.
Yeah, I like your mustache.
The hair, the front hair is giving me. It's giving for sure.
That middle part.
That middle part. That's that's a lot of grace, Tess. Oh gosh.
Y'all came for Harry too. Not
Look
Harry
at that
Potter.
Girl.
That's a little girl.
So Harry started off by the time traveler believers' thoughts. Started off as a little girl and was like, you know what? I'm gonna go into the future and I'm gonna raid Hogwarts.
Yeah, actually, she should have copyrighted her look because Harry jacked it off of her.
Look at those glasses. I mean,
look at the glasses.
That's ironic.
What are the odds? What are the odds that not just a little girl back in the day dressed like that, but had Harry's face? You're a time
Exactly.
traveler, Harry.
It appears that she may even have a Hogwarts robe on.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Solo says, my kids tell me I look exactly like Janis Joplin. Wait a minute. Is that her name anyway? I don't think that's a compliment. I love Janis Joplin. Why did they do Harry Potter like that? I don't know. Yeah. And his glasses, everything down to the T. I'm sure if we could zoom up, she has a little scar.
It's a little lightning bolt right on her head.
Look at Ross. God.
Okay.
Convince me
now
that's
this
not
one,
him.
They don't look alike to me.
What?
And let me tell you, I think, like, look at the eyebrows are different. The eyes are different. His eyes seem a little bit kind of like a little bit more like sunk in, where this guy's look a little bit more out there and alert. His cheeks seem like his face really seems thin down to a long chin. And that guy has like a little bit like filled in cheeks that puff out a little bit. This one doesn't look like. Now, the other ones I will give you, there are a lot more similarities. This one I don't see the similarities for. That's just this one.
Okay.
I agree.
Well,
He's a
let's
little
see.
less like him.
I don't know yes, I can see they're not identical. You're right at the eyes and stuff, but very similar.
Right.
Water retention, Grandma says.
Oh my God, Grandma, stop it.
This is some nightmare fuel doppelganger stuff right here. It is. Now, this isn't literal, but still, that's Pope Gregory and Sylvester Stallone. And tell me again, this is before they had photos, Nanya.
They painted that.
They painted
That's
that.
actually not Sylvester Stallone. That is Rocky with makeup on him.
Yes, but look at the Pope. Look at Pope Gregory. Is that not Sylvester Stallone?
Okay. I to me, yes, there are similarities in the facial features. I could give you that. I just really feel like that goes to like lineage.
I guess we'd have to see if. Yeah, maybe he is. I mean, technically, if you trace us all back, we're going to be overlapped with a lot of relations. Like a lot of us are related.
Right.
They say it's, what is it? The 7 degrees of separation. Like you can take anyone in this world and you are only separated by 7 different people. Like you can make a connection. I don't know if that's blood, not necessarily blood. I think that's just like familiarity with someone 7 degrees out. There will be like a common person.
That's
For
wild.
Okay. You want to talk about Mark Zuckerberg?
Oh, God.
Nanya, have you seen Mark drink water?
I think he's a robot.
He himself said he's not human. Yeah, hold on. Let me show you.
It.
Watched
Get
him
the
drink
clip.
water?
Just get
Seriously.
Get it.
Get the clip. Get the clip.
Totally,
the clip.
Roll
Casey.
the clip.
You and I are honestly probably at least third cousins at this point. For sure.
Just wait. Just wait till you see this guy.
Yeah.
We look just alike. So
Mark Zuckerberg drinking.
Soup says she always creeped him out. Grandma says he's not human, and Chasing says Mark is a robot.
Mark
I agree,
has
Chasing.
himself admitted when I was human. I'm just saying. Okay, ready?
No freaking way.
Just watch this. This is so creepy.
Oh, what's this? Ooh. It's like the first time he's drinking water, Nanya. Ooh.
You're freaking. Is that you making the sound effects, or
Yes.
somebody making the sound effects, or is that the video?
That's me.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
me.
I think it's hella weird, but I also think like he was on trial at that point in time while he's sitting before the committee. I don't know.
No, that's not enough.
Okay.
That's not enough.
Okay.
Now, quick Google.
He did not lick
Travis
it
Kelce
for a
got
baby.
doppelganger. You guys will be blown away.
I talked to Jarvis using this app I built. It uses artificial intelligence to understand me and figure out what to do.
Max woke up a few minutes ago. I'm entertaining her.
All right, let's go check on her.
Senator, I have not heard that.
Okay. Do you think Palantir taught Cambridge Analytica, as press reports are saying, how to do these tactics?
Senator, I don't know.
He's like a robot.
Do you think that Palantir has ever scraped data from Facebook?
Senator, I'm not aware of that.
Zuckerberg, I remember well your first visit to Capitol Hill back in 2010.
Control Houston, please call station for a voice check.
All right, station, this is Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. We could talk about the astronauts after.
Connecting folks.
Hey, Mark, I read you loud and clear. It's a pleasure to talk with you today.
Great to talk to you guys, too. I have to say, when you're building products to try to connect everyone in the world, connecting folks who are out in space is about as extreme and cool as it gets. So it's awesome to have the opportunity to talk to you guys today. Thanks for doing this.
It's a pleasure to talk with you today.
I mean, he's clearly very awkward.
I think, yeah, that's my
You're
thing.
just staring
I
at that a
think-
question.
Yeah. Sorry, I think he is
No,
so
you're fine.
awkward. I don't think that, I mean, again, I'd have to watch other interviews of his, but I think he's very awkward. I think he's very like, what do you call it?
Cyborg.
What's no, not definitely not.
Just kidding.
What's the people who don't like to be around other people? Introverted. There you go. Introverted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you look at that, you have two situations where it's very, very, very public.
Yeah.
And kind of pressure filled. Yeah, like that's how I feel. Ash, I feel like he's a dork. And not in a negative way, you know, but like, I don't know. I don't see, I don't know. Maybe I live in a world full of rainbows and butterflies and bullshit, but I just don't see it like, okay, he was nervous drinking the cup of water. Why does that become he's a robot? I feel like I know a lot of people who talk like that, and maybe it's just me because I'm weird, but I don't know. I know a lot of people who talk like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just a compilation of everything. And then when he took off his jacket on stage at an interview, it revealed an interior like cult-like sign too, like literally stitched on the interior of his jacket. And then him literally saying, "When I was human." Oh, I mean, I am human. I'm still human. I'm sorry, that freaked me out. And I'm like, are you?
Right.
Are you? This is Peter Dinklage.
Ain't no way.
I love Peter Dinklage.
And the person in the video or the person in the old photo is also a little person.
Yes. They look, and it's not that they're little people, it's they look identical.
Same perfectly. Okay.
I love Peter Dinklage. And then this is just to be an asshole.
Oh my god. They done chipped off the Pharaoh's nose. Oh my god. They're not right for that. Stop it.
Break me off a piece of that Pharaoh's nose. Sorry. Okay. I'm not saying that necessarily people are time traveling. I'm just saying that, wow, there is some uncanniness going on here, you know, like, and maybe we just don't see it more because us non-celebrities don't have people searching through history, finding our doppelgangers, but it's just, it's close. Some of them are too close.
And
He said it, he meant it.
Yeah.
Very
I think there's definitely similarities. I mean, again, maybe there's if you believe in the time travel thing, then maybe Judy Zipper was like, you know what? I see how Hollywood is going back here in the 20s. I need to go ahead and fast forward into the 70s, act like I was just born yesterday and become Leo so that I can then meet all these, I can go along and meet this guy named Ben and I can have this whole life.
Totally possible. Absolutely possible. And let me be clear, I love Michael, guys, but like that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah, they did not like don't come for Michael, boy.
I know.
Listen, go
They're
for
like, leave
Beyonce.
Michael alone.
Yeah. Go
I
for
love
Beyonce,
Michael.
but these people said do not go for Michael.
Yes, they're like, no way. But just to bounce off real quickly, and then we're going to get into our Bigfoot discussion, which I'm very excited. We're going to have Tess and maybe hopefully Grandma Sherry will pop up to convince me that Bigfoot exists. But have you guys seen glitches or inconsistencies with astronauts in space? So they will do these live feeds where they will talk to ground control. They'll even talk to students in schools and allow them to ask questions. Have you guys seen any of the videos where there are things caught, like things falling down that shouldn't be?
I want to know how the Nutella jar flew across last week.
Like a perfect
that was
advertisement.
Right.
So during the Artemis, there was, and Christina Randall dropped a video on it, like perfectly that floated by right in front of the camera was this Nutella that just floated and turned in such a way that it was like a perfect advertisement for Nutella.
Perfect.
Here, I'll show you. So people are thinking, are they kind of advertising up there?
Maybe Nutella sponsored part of the trip to NASA.
Right.
Or for NASA. Maybe they had it on strings that are clear and you just couldn't see it. Maybe there was a green screen there and they just recorded it to put it out.
Maybe.
That's the
Like they do
problem,
in the
though. There
movies.
shouldn't be a green screen.
Huh?
There shouldn't be a green screen. That's the problem.
Why? If you're recording something?
Advertising during the
Look at that.
mission.
Look at that.
Jar of chocolate hazelnut spread just floating by the astronauts. Companies capitalize on it. They posted the video to social media saying, honored to have traveled farther than any spread in history. But the timing of that is amazing.
How long before we...
So just convenient.
Okay, that to me is like, it's cool. It's cool to see it happen, but like the bottle is moving all around.
Yes.
It actually shows the logo twice, so it is like flipping as you would imagine it would in zero gravity.
Right.
Hold on,
But people think that it was purposely put there or that it wasn't even there. And
Yeah, some people are speculating that it was too convenient to not be
like product placement.
planned.
Yeah.
But let me show you real quick. It's things like this that make people go like, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I mean, people still believe right now that Artemis didn't even go to the backside of the moon. So, I mean, people
Yes.
believe a lot of things.
Yes.
Right.
But let me show you one of the reasons why they're like that. Okay. So this was just released. Hold on, I need the audio. Hold on.
Humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome.
Why can't I do it from the beginning?
One of the things
Hold
that
on.
we most ask
How do you do it from the beginning?
It's okay. Just let it play and it'll go back.
for and
No,
look
it's
forward
too long.
to is we're going to do a crew conference between Integrity and the International Space Station, the crew that's up there.
Hold on.
See,
Let me do it again like this.
Right. Perfectly.
Can you see?
Exactly.
Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, so if it cuts off, it says, this is the first time we're sending humans to the moon.
first time we're going to send humans to the moon and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome. One of the things that we most asked for and look forward to is we are going to do a crew conference between Integrity and the International Space Station, the crew that's up there.
So it's things like that that make people, Nanya, go, what do you mean? We went to the moon in the 60s. And that's not the first time that's happened. This exact mission, the Orion mission, the Artemis, years ago, they are talking about how they just need to figure out how to get humans through the Van Allen radiation belts. And once we figure that out, we can send people to the moon. What? We sent people to the moon in tinfoil, okay, in the 60s. So if we were able to figure out then how to get people to the moon, why would we need to figure out how to surpass the Van Allen radiation belts if we already did it? And then all of a sudden now this newer video drops and they're saying the same thing. This is the first time we're putting humans on the moon. What do you mean?
And you know what my mind thinks when it hears that? It thinks, why did Van Allen's belt become radiational?
Oh, that's because of the sun.
Yes, but who the hell is Van Allen?
Oh, they named it after the person, I believe, that discovered it.
See, this, you know what, this is what, like, I feel like, it's just me. This is just me, okay? No judgment to anybody who does this. I feel like you have to have a mind that will think for 30,000 minutes about one thing obsessively to be able to follow conspiracy theories. And most of this, like what you're talking about right now, seems very like scientific based or science based, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm not knocking it at all. It seems very science based. And my mind is like, if you have to learn, I would have to learn so much stuff about science to be able to even catch up to the people who have conspiracy theories. I'm way far behind on the spectrum for them.
Fair enough. And again, like, let me separate the silly ones where I'm talking about like the time travelers and things like that from the ones that are more legitimate, like this one that I just showed. What I think is I don't want to say the problem for the lack of a better term. Right there, be feeling overwhelmed, right? Not familiar with any of this. How do I even start? I get that. Like, I feel like we all started there, but when you just use logic, right? I feel like when they're saying we haven't put someone on the moon or that we can't recreate technology that we had in the 60s, you don't need to be super familiar to know, hey, that doesn't sit right. That's not right. Am I wrong?
Yes, I do agree with that. I think it's very weird for him to have said, this is the first time we'll have people going on the moon, right? But what my mind goes to is, again, I don't know who he was. I think he's one of the astronauts, I'm guessing. But what my mind goes to is like, maybe what he meant is going to the backside of the moon, because it's supposed to be the first time they went there. And he just didn't say the backside of the moon. Like, maybe sometimes it's not that deep. Or I still am open to the possibility that we never went there in the first place.
Actually,
and we are just now starting to get the technology that's needed to be able to go.
I heard the best explanation about that the other day. They talk about how we lost the technology. This guy came out, and did you see that about the Mary Poppins and the cubes?
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. So when we went to the moon, if you remember the videos, you saw like the sand moving and you saw them walking and had the footprints, and they've talked about not having the technology. Well, there are people that believe that the technology was actually owned by Disney. He had these prisms. They were only 3 made ever, and they were like hundreds of thousands of dollars to be made. Do you remember Mary Poppins? How they would dance with the penguins and it looked like he was dancing with the penguins? Basically, it was this cube that made it look like the animation and the people were together in one. And the theory is that's what NASA used. They used the sound stage at Disney and used that prism to make it look like we were walking on the moon. And that's why it could look like that. And when they lost those cubes, they lost the technology to make that kind of video. Because even now, today in 2026, we can't make that kind of seamless video that they made back then with that cube. It's so interesting.
Well, and I think that for me, I 100% believe we went to the moon. Let me be clear. I believe we never left, Nanya. What I believe, though, is artifacts were found, things were seen, And the footage we see is fake, but we have been there and we have never left because people who are much smarter than me, people who have the ability with telescopes, amazing telescopes, who are able to zoom up just like this footage right there,
Right.
to craters on the moon, you can see crafts flying in and out. You can see an atmosphere. You can see what looks like industrial buildings, roads, for lack of better term, things like that. So for me, I absolutely believe we've been to the moon. I think we never left. Everything they show us, though, and you have to remember, we were in a space race. It was about who can get there first, America or Russia, and so it was more about
showing it
than.
Yeah, but you're saying we never left, meaning those Buzz Armstrong, Aldridge,
No,
whatever
no,
his
no.
name was, sorry, that they stayed there?
No, I'm sorry. Let me explain better. Meaning that we've already established bases there that we come and go often.
Well, hi.
So you think we're just
Hi,
taking
Grandma.
random trips to the moon? I'm sorry, Grandma.
Yeah, I
sorry.
think that there's a base there. People already are established. Elite small group. Yes.
That's
I'm
okay.
not sure about that, but I don't. I'm not.
There were 6 Apollo missions to the moon.
Yes.
6 missions where they allegedly landed on the surface and left seismographs and all kinds of things. Can you name astronauts from any of those missions? I would probably look them up.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin.
Not without looking it up. No,
that's the first one. Like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. Blah. That's the first one. The first man on the moon. One giant step for man, or one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But the thing is that when that first mission went up, the capsule, because there was only 2 astronauts that actually went on the lunar surface.
Yes.
The capsule went around, allegedly,
The dark
side of the moon.
Yes.
And was without communication for 40 minutes, which is what this mission said.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, then the other 5 missions had the same issue. I mean, what Melissa was talking about, they can see lights on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And, they try to say, oh, yeah, it's built-in methane gas from the inner surface of the moon that's exploding when it hits the radiation, that sort of thing. But nobody really knows, I'm doing air quotes, really knows what it is. But you can see crafts coming and going and coming and going. And so I think they've gotten to a point right now where the next few Artemis missions are supposed to build like a lab, a base to permanently stay on the moon for months on end.
Right.
Yes.
But allegedly on the dark side, which is where you can see most of, like the pyramid and the industrial complex and the roads and all that kind of stuff. Allegedly, there's already bases there, and it might be from non-human entities.
Not us. Thank you, Grandma. Absolutely. Why do you think, Danya, that we never went back? Like, don't you find that strange that we never went back? We take over everything. And so maybe I can align with, okay, we haven't gone back there. But when NASA officials start doing interviews and they're saying, well, okay, what happened to all the data from when we did go to the moon? Well, we accidentally erased over those tapes as if it was like a wedding video on a VHS that you accidentally recorded Sunday football over. What do you mean you accidentally destroyed the data? And you're telling me we can't, and this is his words, we can't recreate that data. Are you kidding me? And anybody who's familiar with the Apollo missions, they are tin crafts. Like the lunar module that they landed on, it was nothing. Like it is unbelievable how it was even able to maintain pressure. And yet they also said when they dropped that on liftoff, they dropped that lunar module just to see what the mass would be of the moon. It rang like a bell for over an hour. That flimsy little capsule, they dropped it from like maybe 100 feet, I'm not sure. And it rang like a bell for over an hour. Like, that is fascinating. But thank you, Grandma, because
they did that
I-
twice. They
Yeah.
dropped the lunar capsule twice. The second time, the moon rang for 3 hours.
Yeah. That's crazy. Can you imagine taking anything of that mass, that weight, dropping it on Earth and anticipate it to ring as if it's hollow for hours?
Well, they say the water on Earth actually absorbs the
shock?
vibrations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't do that.
So can I answer your question?
Mhm.
To me, again, the way my logical brain would explain that is we do go and we take over everything where we can survive or live, right? So when they realized that the moon was not livable, in air quotes, then it was time to go find another planet for us to go and try and conquer, so to speak. And so then it started to be, okay, Mars, and everything was Mars, 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 right? And then they got there and they realized, oh shit, okay, well, can't really go there. And so now they're on to the next one. That's how I feel about it. And
Oh.
like, to me, it's just they're looking for something that they can go and conquer and be the first person there to claim it as their own, you know? But I don't know.
Well, America's always been that way.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying there would be no purpose in staying in that one space if you deem it not livable, right? Then why would you even stay there? You're going to continue to go searching through space and time and continuance to find a place where you can conquer and make it your own and create something that can, be livable.
Well, Japan actually has a project that they're working on right now, and they want to surround the moon, the light side of the moon. And it's kind of odd that as a planet, it doesn't rotate like all the other planets in the galaxy.
It's in a tidal lock. Yeah.
It's in a tidal lock. That's right. And so, but Japan wants to put this ring, which will basically absorb sunlight from the light side of the moon and broadcast it down to Earth.
Give us energy.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a company right now that's trying to get off the ground that wants to launch about, 50,000 mirrors. So that, say, like if you're doing a building project in the Amazon forest and you need light at night to keep this project going, you can actually buy sunlight from this country. They can beam it down to your specific location for about $1,000 an hour.
Wild.
Yes, you can, Grandma. Great point. Nanya, did you know that?
Honestly, my eyes glaze over. This is what I heard Grandma say. Japan has some type of thing going. They have found that you can they're trying to beam light down onto the Earth from the moon. And so if you're in the rainforest and you need night at light, I think you can beam down some light from the moon. That's what I heard.
That's what
Okay,
she said.
Well,
that's
that's pretty much what she said.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the Cliff Notes version of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Grandma.
But
I'm
people
sorry.
can-
I try and hang in there. I don't know. Maybe I also have an ADD brain at times. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I did not know that. I don't know anything about that project, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. Like, if you can find resources outside of our planet, I mean, isn't that kind of what that's what we've always done for generations, as far back
What
as we know?
resources? Well, I don't think it was like, I think it was just more mind-blowing that you could purchase sun and have it directed at like, hey, I want my yard to be lit up by the sun for this party. And you could do that. I think that's the craziest part. But what resources do we need that Earth doesn't already provide?
Well, okay, so here's my thing. You have companies who produce solar panels, and all they're
Yeah.
doing is pulling the energy from the sun, the sunlight, and converting it into energy, right? But they charge us for the solar panels, and the energy companies charge us for the conversion. Like, I mean, capitalism, I feel like every time you anytime anybody finds something new, they attempt to exploit it in the way of, charging for it to make a buck. So I don't know if that's not surprising to me, but I think that there's a reality of like climate, not climate control. I know that's not the name of it. Where the climate is going real bad. What is it called?
Global warming.
Global warming.
Thank you.
Climate change.
Like I think people realize it is a real thing and that eventually, the earth won't exist, so to speak. And so I think that that's the reason why they are on this, journey.
There's actually things, and we say it's conspiracy night, but a lot of these things, like my Real Housewives slogan is, I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat, I'm wearing a crown that sees the future, because conspiracy today are headlines, later on. But because of the climate change, because the protective layer that the earth has, because we're the only planet in our solar system that has this magnetic protective layer that keeps out a lot of the bad radiation, keeps out a lot of the heat from the sun, and makes it a livable planet.
The Goldilocks zone, Nanya.
The Goldilocks zone.
The Goldilocks zone.
Thank you. Thank you, MJ. That's my favorite zone. I learned about one day in Discord late at night. I think it was about 12 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and I learned about the Goldilocks zone, and Hansel and Gretel were out there somewhere trying to find their way to a new Goldilocks zone. But yeah, I learned basic things that day. And ever since then, anything we talk about when it comes to conspiracies there will always be a time I mention the Goldilocks zone. Sorry, Grandma.
No, that's fine. But the point about that, because a long time ago in the 60s, they realized that carbon emissions were destroying the ozone zone, the ozone layer around the planet, and it was going to cause problems, and that was kind of escalated up to all the things. But what people don't realize is how deep governments and laboratories and whatnot are working. Like people are talking about chemtrails in the chat. People don't believe in chemtrails, but they're true. I mean, Abu Dhabi chemically seeded their clouds to get rain, and they ended up getting a flood. And right now, it was actually a little bit ago, but over England, there's a project called Stratospheric Aerosol Transport and Nucleation. And the little name
That's
for that
a lot of big words. Why can't they just make them small words?
Well, they just call it Satan.
Okay, that's a little bit better. I can get with that.
Stratospheric Aerosol Transport Nucleation. What it does is through a satellite, they chemically spray this area, and it's supposed to keep a lot of the harmful radiation from the sun away. So, I'm sorry, it wasn't a satellite, it was a balloon. But they sprayed sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. And what they were just trying to do is geoengineer. And that's what all of this stuff is about. The stuff to the moon. I mean, they're not going to be able to make it big enough for everybody on Earth just to, evacuate and go to the moon and live there. It's a planned thing. I mean, even underneath the Denver airport isn't big enough for everybody to live,
Very true.
We have a lot of.
I can get with the. Sorry, Laura asked, "What can I get with?" I can get with the name Satan, not get with Satan himself, but I can get with calling it Satan instead of the stratospheric morphological, whatever it was. It was a lot of big words, but you call it Satan, and I'm like, okay, I know what we're talking about now. My brain wraps better around it.
Gotcha. It's a short thing.
Super basic.
But why are they calling it Satan? And why? Because, Apollo was a Greek god, right?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
know-
Was he?
Yes, he was.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, right. Artemis is Apollo's sister.
Okay.
Why didn't they just keep calling it Apollo?
Well, because it wasn't the same mission, right? It doesn't each mission need its own name?
Well, no, we
No,
had,
there's Apollo 11, 12, 13, 14.
yeah.
Oh, so maybe, I mean, again, maybe they figured, fuck it, the guy didn't get it done. Let's try the sister now.
Well, or maybe it has something to do with the Project Babylon.
Oh. I don't know what that is.
Well, that's a conversation for a whole nother night.
Oh my
but
God.
yeah, I
How come
wanna.
these conversations can't
We won't go
exist on
there.
their own?
Well, because I realize that we're over the 1 hour. We need to get to
listen,
Bigfoot.
these are the rabbit holes I'm talking about. These
We're-
are the rabbit
oh,
holes. Because you can't talk about one thing without opening up a whole nother rabbit hole, and then a whole nother rabbit hole from there. And here I am learning about so many different things just to prove the first thing I was talking about.
It makes your head spin. I get it.
It does.
Well, the thing is that they kind of build on each other. This isn't like, just one isolated project. This isn't, this is a whole planned thing from the oligarchs, from the elites that are actually planning. Hey, Lady K.
Yes, high five. Lady K and I are going to have a conspiracy night about conspiracy night.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
exactly
I
what we're
can't
gonna have.
wait.
We're gonna be like, did you hear that, Lady K? And
I'm
Lady K is gonna be like, girl, I heard it, but you know how I felt about it.
But wait, can we because again, I want to differentiate between the fun, silly conspiracies that I like to cover, as I'm sure everyone on this panel does. We like to cover and talk about that. I'm not standing behind it. I just like to talk about it versus the ones that I don't even like to deem conspiracies because they're proven, like Grandma was saying. And so we need to make sure if you guys are going to come and give your debunking, it needs to be based on the ones that are legit.
Right.
Not on Nicolas Cage. Can we deal with that? Can we make a
Well,
deal?
it would be more on the Nicolas Cage and Beyonce
Fine.
of it all, more so than it would be that, because I feel like this to me, I don't feel like this is necessarily it is still under the conspiracy umbrella.
Yes.
But this to me seems to be backed by a little bit more. It's a little bit more fact based.
Yeah. For sure.
So like I understand. Oh God, not the MK Ultra again, please no. But
No,
this
Harlan.
feels a little bit more fact based, and it feels like there's a little bit more behind it, right?
Yes.
That one, like this one, I want to understand better. That's what I'll say, right? So that's not something I would work on debunking. But Beyonce's never had a baby.
I think she had a baby.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just that ain't
that
a
one.
baby. Yeah, that's a surrogate in my opinion. And guess what? If that's what she decided to do, okay, I can understand. But all I do know is that wasn't a baby bump. That's all I know.
Right.
And neither was Meghan Markle on her 2 pregnancies.
Oh God,
I don't know much about that
now
one.
we go to the Meghan. Don't come for the royals, okay? Just don't come for the royals.
They're not
And
royals.
Beyonce is royalty.
Yeah.
So
They
we're just not going to go there.
They stepped away. They're not royals. Anyway, no, but we were talking about the ozone, right? And the magnetic fields around the earth. And I know that we were going to talk about Bigfoot, and that has a lot to do with magnetic fields and portals, which could explain some of the time traveling stuff.
How? What?
Oh, Garth Brooks is a serial killer. Okay, that's what that
I'm not familiar with that one. As soon as Lady K said it, I'm like, I don't know that one.
Oh my gosh, that one is crazy.
Allegedly.
I know about Bob Ross allegedly being a serial killer from his Happy Little Accidents painting, but other than that, I'm not. Yeah,
Oh,
because he
God, they're
accidentally
coming for
inadvertently
Bob Ross,
painted.
Garth,
No, I love Bob.
Beyonce. Nobody is safe at this
Bob
point.
Ross.
No,
Y'all are
this
only
is no
gonna
safe
leave.
takes, Nanya.
You're only
No
leaving
safe
like the
takes.
Z-list celebrities at this point.
No safe takes.
I have to, well,
listen,
let me.
have your takes. By all means, I'm not worried. Like, I have no worries in that sense. But like, y'all are going after everybody. Bob
Listen,
Ross.
Bob inadvertently, one of his paintings called Happy Little Accidents ended up being the exact spot that like 6 bodies were found.
Oh, Lord.
Just saying. But this is a perfect time to pivot, as Ross would say from Friends, now that we know he's a time traveler. Pivot. If you haven't yet, please take a second, hit that thumbs up. We're so happy all of you guys are here with us. Now, this is the time of the night where we have both Tess and Grandma, and I don't know what side you sit on, Nanya, but I am not so much a Bigfoot believer. And so I told them they need to come and they need to convince me. Yeah, that's another one, Lady K. And I'll be honest, I believe it. I do believe that one. So
Yeah, I kind of believe that one.
What?
I saw a penis. Like I did on
There's
Ellen DeGeneres.
definitely
Like you
something
can't.
lying between her legs in that picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers called her
Yes.
a man.
She did.
And then she
Joan
died.
Rivers,
And then she died.
mysteriously.
I cannot.
I know. Yes. Big Mike don't like that. I know.
I cannot at all. Stop it.
That's been a thing. Joan Rivers straight up called it out and she said, Michelle Obama's a man. You know, like that's a man. That's a man.
Literally died like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, 2 weeks later passed away. Bless her. May she rest in peace. Yeah, that one caused me to question Michelle, Bethany said. Obama accidentally called Michelle Mike. Sure did.
Yep.
Was that a penis in your pocket or are you trying to save a Snickers for later?
Oh, God.
Be nice to
okay.
Big Mike.
I refuse. All right. I'm going to leave you be for your
Laura says-
Bigfoot conversation.
Well, wait, before you leave, can you just let me know which side do you sit on before this conversation takes place? Are you someone who, no, I never aligned with Bigfoot, or actually that's one of them that I am considering?
I think I'm indifferent to it. My husband is a humongous Bigfoot like fanatic. Like
I love
wants to
that.
go out to the woods in all the famous places and go look for it. Right?
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, like loves it and believes it wholeheartedly. But I think that it could be a possibility of like a caveman style man still existing. I just don't believe the actual like pictures that like get posted and things like that.
Most of them are fake.
Most of them are fake.
Yeah. So I think there could be somebody out there, but now I think it's so like there's such a fanfare behind it that I do feel like a lot of the stuff that comes out is very
You can't trust it. Yeah.
yeah, it's very like pushing that agenda that it's real. And that's where
God.
I kind of differ some.
Sorry, I'm loving in this
Oh,
chat. I
Grandma.
love that we all
Grandma's
have different
about to get blocked
opinions.
in the chat.
Beefers coming in.
Leave Michelle
Stop
alone.
it. Michelle Obama is a woman, plain and simple. Grandma turns around and says, Buford, now she's a woman.
I fucking can't.
I'm loving all the opinions. Let us know, though,
I
in
feel
the
like
chat.
a big part of that is like I feel like people. Okay, well, unpopular opinion. I think that people seen a person who could carry themselves in a very classy way and didn't go low when other people did, and so they just purposely had to find something to try and like tear her down. That's just my opinion. But okay,
Michelle,
I'll
like
have to watch whatever.
Michelle, you mean?
Yes.
I really don't get me. I really like her. I think she was classy. I think she was beautiful. But I also believe what I saw. But I guess what doesn't change my opinion about her, even if it was.
I mean, did you see her body, including her face, with a penis on the body?
No, I saw her dance on the Ellen. If you want me to show you, I'll show you. I saw her dance on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and something was flopping between those legs. I mean, maybe was it a banana? I don't know. You know, like, but I know I'm like, nothing should be there.
It could have been a mic.
It wasn't
falling down. it could have been like a cord from a mic fell down and was swinging.
Maybe.
Maybe between her legs, maybe.
It could have been a dislodged tampon.
It could be many things.
Okay.
Could be many things. All right. So we are going to pivot. Is there anything, Tess, I know that you brought some stuff. Is there anything that you'd like me to pull up first?
I want you to pull up. I'm just going to start with the main question. Bring up the picture of the Wolverine, please.
The Wolverine. And yeah, sorry, we're not meaning to offend anyone. Maybe if this isn't the topic for you, totally fine, understandable. But we're not, listen, it's a conversation. You know, like not everyone's going to agree, and that's okay. We want to hear everyone's opinions, and we hope everyone sticks around to give them. All right, let's see. All right, the one
that looks like a bear.
It was the last one. It's just the picture of that little animal. Like that's not. It's a Wolverine. He's like got 4 legs and he's brown.
Got it. Okay. Yes.
So
all right. So we're gonna pull this up.
Tell me why you don't believe that there is a Bigfoot.
Okay, I am open to it. I am not sitting here and saying that like there's not a possibility, but I think that if there really was a Bigfoot, by now we would have had more documentation on it. The only rationale I could really get behind is that it is a species going extinct, but why wouldn't we acknowledge it? Like, you need to give me a reason the government would not acknowledge a species that is native to this planet.
Okay, first, I knew you were going to say that there's not a lot of documentation of it. See that little guy on the screen? That's a Wolverine. They're very rarely ever seen. People never see them. Like one a year, maybe. But we know they exist because the scientists agreed to say that they exist and they're out there.
Okay.
Why is Bigfoot different? Because scientists don't want to say it. There's been evidence from years ago, like since the beginning of America, all across the world, actually. And people that never knew each other on mountains, and people before that there was news, before they called it Bigfoot, tribes in every single First Nations and Native American tribes all have a hairy man. They all speak about it everywhere. And just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. You know what I mean? So that's my first point.
Ahead.
No, just that's my first point. That people are always like, well, you can't see it. You never see it. They don't know where it is, or we've never seen one. And there's a lot of animals that we never see. And they're there. We just never see them. Like the Wolverine.
Sorry, I was typing.
There are a lot of experiences.
Sorry. Back all the way in like the 1800s, there are tons of indigenous legends about like the wild men, the Bigfoot. And even in 1811, they had like human-like footprints noticed by people that were going across the country exploring. They had stories of strongmen and hairy giants in the woods near like when people were settling. There were articles in 1851 about a hairy creature that had a gigantic stature that was chasing people. They've had just forever. There's been stories, and there were not like now where there's the internet and we can talk about it. These people didn't know each other, had never heard the stories from each other, but are all sharing the same exact story about the same exact creature. It's very interesting, right?
Do you think that okay, so let's say mermaids, right? We've heard about mermaids. And once that gains momentum, are people not going to look for that when they see something more mysterious in the sea that they may not automatically be able to identify? I think that towards Bigfoot, it originated towards someone's sighting. And back when the original sightings were, we weren't as educated. We didn't, as far as like what what every animal, every species that lives here. There wasn't as much documentation. There wasn't necessarily cameras yet, like there wasn't videos yet. There wasn't, like, so it went really by whisper, right? Like, this is what I saw.
Right.
And so then once it puts in someone's mind that there is a big over 8-foot beast in the woods, the next time someone sees something that very well may be a bear, that, they're going to jump because that fear is already in their mind. And from there, I think we can eliminate a lot of the sightings. I know Joe Rogan did like an expedition where he went out in the search of Bigfoot. And he also said a lot of them, and not all, to be fair, but a lot of them you can attribute to just false sightings.
I agree with that. There definitely are false sightings, but there's a lot of people who have seen things that aren't, people that like Les Stroud, who he is? He Survivor Man. He knows the woods like no one, and he saw something that made him, he did not believe in Bigfoot, and then saw something that made him change his entire outlook on it. And he fully believed at that point.
Well, people think with mermaids, specifically Nanya, the same way. It depends on what evolution, do you believe in? What have we evolved from? But there is a large portion of people that believe that there is an aquatic ape theory along with like the land ape. And we as humans have evolved from on the land side, and there are aquatic ape theories that people would have evolved into marine life, hence a mermaid. Harlot says, did you guys know that deer lose their antlers every year, but mice eat them all? It's crazy. You almost never find deer antlers, even though all the males are losing them every year. I did not know that.
And you have to look hard, like to find them. You have to look hard to find them. And you're so lucky when you do.
Well, and so Bethany says, I'm not a Bigfoot believer because I think we would have had better footage by now. But Joe says, what about unicorns and dragons and other things that we have never seen, but in history were real? Funny that you say that, Joe. Just recently, there is, I forgot what country, so I don't want to say the wrong country, but they were digging up, and it was like 100 feet down, a dragon fossil. A freaking dragon fossil. And ain't nobody talking about it. Grandma, did you see that?
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm actually
insane.
I'm of
totally insane.
I'm of the belief.
I think that one of the main reasons that they don't want.
There might be a delay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but Grandma was talking. I think there might have been a delay.
I can't hear her.
Oh no!
Oh, you can't hear Grandma
at all? Like ever?
You can't hear her now?
Nope.
Okay, I would go out and come back in.
Okay.
Go ahead, Grandma.
Oh, no. Because I've been looking into that. And I really believe that, like the dragons, like you see on the flag of Wales, WALES, there's a red dragon on there. And then, of course, St. George slew the dragon, the unicorns, all that sort of thing. I honestly believe that those things physically existed with men at some point in our history. We've got this thing called the Dark Ages, where we lost a lot of our history during that time.
Right.
And there were so few people that were literate enough to actually write down a proper history, that as we're going through, like the giants, the Nephilim.
There is a lot of records of giants. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And people go, oh, poo poo. And then, there's this big conspiracy theory that whenever they find like a giant skeleton, the Smithsonian comes and whisks it away and then hides it or burns it to try to keep this history away from us. But with the Bigfoots, there are so many experiencers. Not everybody has out their camera and they're able to take great pictures. I mean, probably the best film still is from what, 1967, the Patterson
Yes.
Gimlin film.
Mm-hmm.
And allegedly that is a girl or female Bigfoot. But the thing is that if you have these things throughout history, throughout verbal history, when it was just passed down in stories, and then you have things that are being told and documented now, and people are saying, no, you're just nutso. But then we do have, it's not empirical evidence, but it's enough evidence to actually maybe convince you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I was just talking about that the Patterson Gimlin film from 1967 is the best proof that we have of Bigfoot so far.
And they've tried to debunk that so many times and they can't.
Exactly. And, that there's so many people that have experienced Bigfoot. And these people might not have their camera at the ready, but
what I can say is back in 2005, my ex-husband now and I were on a four-wheeler in the woods of northern Minnesota, and we had stopped to, I don't remember even what we were doing. We were putting on a coach or something, and something came out of the woods, and I could tell the whole big story, but it takes a long time. But it cannot be described in anything other than a Bigfoot. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't a person. Both of us saw it. My ex-husband would kill me for saying, but I mean, he even almost went to the bathroom in his pants. I mean, it was absolutely terrifying. We were frozen, and there's nothing on
How
earth
would
that
you
could
describe
possibly
it?
be. It was huge. It looked like a man. But it wasn't a man. It was super hairy. It looked like a gorilla more than anything. It's hard to remember every little detail because it was terrifying. But then afterwards I became obsessed and wanted to learn everything about it for the last 20 years. But we couldn't move. Like I can't even, it was this fear. They talk about primal fear. And that really is the only way to explain how we felt. Like you couldn't move. It could have killed us and we would have just stood there and let it kill us. And it looked at us and we looked at it and it walked away.
What makes you think it would have killed you? Is that a feeling you had, or is that
it was like, like when you watch the scary movie and they're just you're about to die and you see people screaming of, like, it was the most afraid I have ever been. I have never been remotely close to that afraid. And it was like this feeling inside me that this thing is evil. This thing wants to kill me. And we are lucky that we're not dead. And I have it written down, and sometime maybe I'll share it with everyone, like the full, I had Jay write it down, and I wrote down what I remember and he wrote down what he remembered. And it was, I know it's real. It has to be. There's nothing else it can be.
Harry and the Hendersons? Sorry, great movie.
Such a good movie.
Such a good movie.
But it was scarier looking than Harry and the Henderson. It looked like that, but it was scarier. Like, now I'm like, oh, I love Bigfoot and it's interesting and I want to learn about it. But it was not friendly. It did not look like it liked us. It did not look like it wanted to kill us. Or felt like
your
it.
belief in Bigfoot came from an experience.
Correct. That's what I believe.
Okay.
Because there's nothing else it could be. It was not a bear. I mean, Jay grew up in the woods up there. He's seen bears a million times. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't. There's nothing else known that it could be. And
what
it's
about
embarrassing. People don't talk about this, and it's kind of like, kind of taboo to admit it, but it happened, and I don't know what it is. I can't say for sure what it is. I don't know and I don't know. I've gone from thinking it was a scientific thing to thinking maybe it's an interdimensional being, and or something in between, or both. I don't know. But I know what I saw, and I know that what I saw is what all of these other people have explained and seen as well.
Exactly. And literally thousands of experiencers for Bigfoot.
Right.
As far as I know, no one's been killed by one, but there's, I mean, actual evidence. There's plaster casts of the footprints,
right,
that people have taken from all over the United States, very heavily concentrated towards the middle of the country to the East Coast.
Right. I have a map in there, Melissa, of the sightings. If you want to pull that one up, it's like a map so she can see, like, and these are the sightings only from 1990, I believe. Harlot, it wasn't, I don't think all Bigfoots are evil, because I've heard tons of stories where they're not. But the one that I encountered, the fear made me think maybe evil's not, I just felt this fear that was like, this thing could kill me if it wanted, and there's nothing I could do about it.
Well, you know,
is this it?
Yeah, that's it. Chat is talking about like dogmen are supposed to live underground, and then Solo Angel Mom, she and her spouse saw a creature that had a wolf upper body and a goat lower body, and she's an experiencer.
Right.
So there's no way that you can talk to her and tell her that, no, that was just a pit bull with mange.
I think that there's things we just don't understand out there. And I think that they won't let us know. Like, if you talk about the government, because if people knew that there are 9-foot creatures that are Bigfoot or dogmen or whatever the hell is out there, would you want to go out and hike and camp in the middle of the forest in all the parks out?
Well,
no.
and
no.
I think that's why we have national parks.
Right. I agree with that.
Because they've set aside these areas where these creatures, whether they're interdimensional and they actually come here from another dimension via portals, which would explain people just literally disappearing, the missing 411, would be portals to these other dimensions.
David Pilates, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, or
and
like
he believes in Bigfoot too. He's a huge Bigfoot,
or like those staircases that they find in the middle of forests.
If I ran into a staircase in the middle of the forest, I would die. I would be fuck, get me the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Sorry for swearing.
But no, that's fine. But the point is that there's so many of these things that, you know, maybe our government knows about them, maybe they don't know about them, but
they know.
They're keeping these things away from us. You know,
right.
because on my StreamYard, I have that clip from Men in Black when Will Smith asked Tommy Lee Jones, well, you know, why don't you just tell him, you know, people are smart? And he says, people are not smart. A person is smart. People are just scared, hysterical sheep, you know, so that's why it's not being told to us. And I think that we're coming to a time, because remember Trump said that he was going to make this alien disclosure speech on May 1st.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's coming up. And then allegedly April, we're supposed to have some sort of alien sightings. And so I think that with all the movies and everything that we've watched and all the TV shows and everything, they've been preparing us for a long time. So we don't have that, what you call primal fear.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we got a poll going. Do you believe Bigfoot is real? 1 for yes, 2 for hell nah, 3 for maybe.
And you think about 20 years ago, everyone would laugh at you if you said aliens were real.
Yeah.
Right? People would say that's not true. That's not real. And now in the last 20 years, our own government and every government have shown us proof that there is something. They don't know what it is. And, you know, I just think that we don't understand everything that is going on. And I think that Bigfoot comes in that category, that we think we know all these things. I mean, they've tested scat, they've tested hair that comes to like human, related to human, but not human. What else could that be?
And you guys, the poll is in the top right of the screen. I see people are clicking the answers, but it's the first time I'm using it, so I'm not sure where it shows up for you guys.
It's not showing up for me.
I see it in the top right of the screen, but I'm on my phone. because my internet is not working.
So who, because we have 37% with yes and 6.7% with maybe. Nobody has said hell nah. That is interesting. At least for the people who know how to vote. I don't know where it is. She's okay. Harlot says it's on the top right of the screen. Well, yeah, our screen, but how do you vote? For the people who voted, how do you vote?
I guess I don't know how to vote.
What are these other images you have, Tess?
Okay, one of like I want you know what the oh my gosh, now the I can't, my brain is not working right now. There one of them is a cast, like that one with that guy that's the picture of all the things. They believe that they have a cast of the entire body of the Bigfoot, and it shows like where his bottom was and where it's like one of the most famous big casts that they've done. But the Sierra Sounds is that one link. It's like that video that's like 4 minutes long, and you should back in you know about the Sierra Sounds, Grandma Sherry, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Ron Moorhead and these men were just like basically hunting, and they started here in this remote cabin, and they started hearing in the Sierra Nevadas, and they started hearing these noises that were like nothing they had ever heard, and so they started recording it, and they recorded it several nights, and it cannot be debunked. They've sent it to military, they've sent it to all of the sound experts in the world, and no one can say exactly what it is. It's not for any animal that's known, and it's crazy. So if you play that, you can hear what the Sierra Sounds are, because they're pretty compelling.
When the campers actually started whooping back to them, and then they got responses. So like there was a conversation going. Obviously,
Right.
The campers had no idea what they were saying.
Right. And there's language basis for some of the intonations and the things that they hear within hours of like native language and our language. Like they believe that there are sounds that they're making from languages that were from different cultures, before. It's pretty incredible.
So guys, just a sidebar for a second. If you just put the number in the chat, it will register the vote on the screen. So again, 1 for yes, 2 for hell nah, 3 for maybe.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Did you do that in YouTube or did you do it in StreamYard?
That's really cool.
StreamYard.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
It's the link that says Sierra Sounds.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm kind of wiped out. I love the Bigfoot thing. Thanks for having me up, but I'm gonna have to.
Thank you for helping me.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, and we can talk about them going through portals later. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
And I do believe that you're right about that.
Where Sierra Sounds.
Yeah.
I see the video proves the Patterson Gremlin film. I see.
I can't hear you, Melissa, again. What the heck? That's so weird. I'm gonna.
I got it.
Come back.
Go out and come back in. Okay, I'm gonna get this video up. 1 second. Let me copy here. Copy. Paste. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up. Thank you all so much for being here. If you are on the replay crew, please don't forget to leave your thoughts, whether or not you think Bigfoot is real or not, because we want to hear. Okay.
So weird. I don't know why that happens.
All right, let's take a listen.
You trying to talk to this?
What?
It's from the Sierra Nevadas, yes.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
That's our job. We know where we're going for tracks and all that for sure.
Can you imagine how scary that would be camping and hearing that?
Yeah. Kimber. It's an interesting question.
I have heard sounds like that. I went on a Bigfoot expedition with the Minnesota Bigfoot team.
Sorry, go ahead.
I have heard whoops like that when I went on an expedition with the Minnesota Bigfoot team, but that was just like in the last 5 years.
Whoa. Did you just like drop that as if it was just casual? The Minnesota Bigfoot team, you went on an expedition?
Yeah.
Tess, you can't just drop that.
I'm sorry. I'm
normal
totally
Tuesday.
letting my nerd show out. I apologize.
No, I love it.
I've been really obsessed trying to understand what it is. When you see something like that and you don't know what it is and you have a brain that wants to understand all the things, you have to try and figure out all the things. So there's like a group of, they're not the main BFRO, but they're like an offshoot of them. And it's the group in Minnesota. So I sent them a little message and I'm like, can I come with you guys sometime? And so I went with a bunch of really nice gentlemen into the woods of northern Minnesota and for 2 days listened for Bigfoot and camped and stuff.
If you had to choose one piece of evidence to be your main focus on Bigfoot is real, like proving Bigfoot's real, what would it be?
That's a good question. I think that the DNA evidence that they got recently in the last 10 years, and they found that it was related to human. It was like primate. It was like 98% primate, but not any primate that we know. That's pretty compelling. Like, what is that? What does that mean?
Kelly says, why has nobody ever found bones of a Bigfoot? Yeah, like let's put aside living.
A lot of people say that they live in caves. Like, there's a lot of caves in a lot of the places where there are woods and limestone and underground. Or there's also been theories that if they are related and they have watched humans, they bury their fallen. I don't, those are two theories that they have discussed over the years.
High Five says, wow, who is this lady? A secret Bigfoot scientist?
She's a really big nerd. I haven't told people a lot about that. Now y'all know.
Tiny says, going into the woods with some nice gentleman sounds like a corn I watched one time. And Jamie says, if you believe in the Bible, then they're real. If God exists, then evil exists also. You know what, Jamie, that reminds me, and not even to get into that territory, but just saying I loved hearing people talk about how the biggest proof that God exists is the fact that evil exists.
Right.
And, and I was like, okay, again, not scientific evidence, but I like that concept. Like, there has to, as above, so below, black, white.
Right.
There's always an opposite. There's always a pairing, love, hate, there's always, the duality of it.
And the only thing that ever makes like anything evil ever afraid is the name of God or Jesus, right? Like the demons freak out, they get mad, that's also obviously for a reason.
Well, did you know, like, they have found so much testing on the cloth that Jesus was wrapped in. And they have found an incredible amount. When they did testing on that blood, it was still active.
Right.
Like after you pass and blood dries, like it's not, and again, I'm not relaying it correctly, but basically it's not active blood. It is old blood. When they did this testing on the shroud, it was active. It was, they just, please go watch those videos because it is, and put the religious stuff aside, just look at it as a man who existed. What they found is absolutely incredible.
It's crazy. Or like how the flash of light made that 3D image, and
it perfectly tests.
They can't figure it out. Like no scientist can do it and not burn the material.
They have zoomed in to believing it's paint strokes, whatever it may be. It took a literal photographic image, but only on the surface. It doesn't even seep in at all to the cloth.
Yep. It's pretty incredible.
So Nunya says, curious, how did they test DNA from a Bigfoot? Someone collected DNA from one. Isn't that proof?
Right. Well, I think that there's a reason that they won't put out that proof. There are so many scientists and nature people who all believe it, but it's like the main science community won't admit it. There was Dr. Jeff Meldrum, God rest his soul, he just died in September, was one of the biggest advocates. He worked he was like a primatologist in Idaho for years and did studies on the feet, studies on the muscle. People would bring they would go out in the woods, and if they found hair that looked interesting, or they'd send it to him, and they would take DNA and collect samples. And there's so much proof, but they just won't release it. It's like suppressed, and there has to be a reason why. I don't know what that reason is. Like I said, my guess is that if people knew there were creatures like that all over, they wouldn't want to go out in the woods. That's the only logical thing I can explain.
So I'm just taking a look at these.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Bigfoot sightings throughout November 10th, 1870.
Right. And it like it's hard to read, but it's very interesting. Like they're talking about seeing these big tracks and these big hairy men, and even which president was it? Is Grandma Sherry still in one of the, I think it's which president was it, Grandma Sherry, that saw Bigfoot? Roosevelt? Theodore Roosevelt, I think. He thinks he saw Bigfoot.
So it says, you sneered at the idea of there being any such critters in these hills, and were I not better informed, I should sneer too, or else conclude that one of your recent prospecting parties had got lost in the wilderness and didn't have sense enough to find his way back to Terry's. I positively assure you that this gorilla, or wild man, as you choose to call it, is no myth. I know it exists, and that there are at least two of them, having seen them both at once not a year ago. Their existence has been reported at times for the past 20 years, and I have heard it said that in the early days, an orangutan escaped from a ship on the southern coast. But the creature I have seen is not the animal, and if it is, where did he get his mate? Import her as in my inquiring mind, and finally what possessed him to be prowling about there with no shoes on. The fireplace was on my right, and the spot where I saw the track was on my left, hid by bushes. It was in the direction that my attention was mostly directed, thinking that the visitor would appear there, and besides, it was easier to sit and face that way. Suddenly, I was startled by a shrill whistle, such as boys produce with 2 fingers under their tongue, and turning quickly, I ejaculated, "Good God!" as I saw the object of my solicitude standing beside my fire, erect and looking suspiciously around. It was in the image of a man, but it could not have been human. I was never so benumbed with astonishment before. The creature, whatever it was, stood full 5 feet high and disproportionately broad and square at the shoulders, with arms of great length. The legs were very short and the body long. The head was small compared with the rest of the creature and appeared to set up upon his, and then it's cut off. Sorry, that was really hard to read. It was a little bit
Yeah, it's super hard to
old. Yeah. But, you know, it's interesting how far back these sightings go.
Right.
Wait, where am I? Did I not show that whole thing?
You did.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what it is? I keep flipping to the wrong StreamYard screen. Yeah, I had to make sure I was reading the right word. This is the infamous Bigfoot sighting that we all know about, like the one image that seems to be legitimate. Captured.
Patty. Yep. They've done studies like on the musculature in her legs when she's walking and how her breasts bounce and they've no human there. First of all, there wasn't a suit that could do that back then. They couldn't make one that realistic where the muscles move when they walk, but they've done tons of studies on that film and very interesting.
I'm trying to get it to play. Shit, did I do it again? I did it again. Is there supposed to be video here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I played it earlier, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work. I don't know.
Because that's an interesting one.
It really is.
Well, it's black. Shit, I did it again.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
The site was kind of glitchy. I did notice that, but it had really interesting stuff. That's why I shared it.
Bacon grease. Sightings in Provo, Utah. But see, how can you tell that that is a Bigfoot?
You can't, but that one was it was a class trip. It was in the last maybe decade or two, maybe probably decade, and they watched it walk back and forth on the ridge line for like an hour, and they went there afterwards to see how tall it was, and that's how they gauged the size of it.
Now, what are these other images you sent? Hold on. These, let me pull it up. Can you explain to us what we're looking at?
So this is brand new in the last 2 weeks. This is from a trail cam, I believe, in Oregon. And they have put it through all of the AI little databases things to see if they're legitimate, and it's saying they're not AI, that they're not computer generated. They can't debunk it. I mean, as of yet, it's only been 2 weeks, but it is pretty crazy.
Is this a video or just still shots?
It's still from a game cam. I believe in Oregon.
Oh shit!
Like
in the
2
last
weeks
2
ago,
weeks,
just brand new, just really funny timing, but like literally in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
What do you guys think about that?
And there's in the next one, there's like, yeah, look at those feet.
Holy macaroni.
Look at
Okay,
that.
hold on.
Isn't that nuts?
Is that 4 toes? No, we just can't see. It's like an ape. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Right?
Got him.
Yeah.
Uh,
And look at how scraggly it is.
That's too human-like for my liking.
Right?
They said, Harlot, a trail cam?
Yeah, they're saying they're from a trail cam, like a game camera. A game camera in Oregon. No, it's not April Fool. It was like it was in the last couple weeks, and they have been trying to debunk it because obviously there's so many things you can do with AI now, but they can't debunk it.
Yeah. That's just me before I shave my winter legs.
Yeah.
Look at what appears to be like an injury at the top of the head.
Yeah, it's just very ugly.
Now, Tess, when you look at this, do you believe
when I saw it, it freaked me out. That's like when I saw it, I sent it to Jay and I was like, look at this. And it gave me it freaked me out. It's hard to remember something that happened like 20 whatever years ago, but I still remember it enough to know that it freaks me out. It's very similar. And if you saw that, would you think that that's a bear? It's not a bear. What I saw wasn't a bear.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it may have a 6 only because that doesn't appear to be a thumb.
I don't know.
But then I look at right there and I'm like, what's that line?
Yeah, I don't know. The next, one of the pictures in there shows that it's not like AI or whatever. They put it through like the deep fake in the AI generator.
Oh.
And it supposedly not AI or deep fake.
That's interesting.
Right?
I don't know.
If it's real, but it's very interesting because there hasn't been a picture like that ever since Patty, really, that they can't disprove right away.
No, but you know what? And here's what's crappy about living in today's age is that even if that was legit,
people won't believe
there
it.
is so much, we're not going to believe it. Like there's never going to be a time. The same thing if Jesus returned himself,
right?
You'd just be a crazy guy in Times Square. You know what I mean? Like we don't believe anything these days because we live in a society where everything is a lie.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think when you see this? Do you automatically think, that could be legit? Or are you like, nah, that has to be fake?
I've never seen one look like this. Like this one looks very there's something about it that's different than the others that I've seen. I don't know, but that's just me.
Well, and the results of our poll for do you think Bigfoot is real? We have 57% with yes. We have 7% with hell nah. And we have 36% with maybe. So honestly, we got more of Bigfoot believers than I anticipated.
Did I move your needle at all?
No.
Oh, Melissa. I'm going to send you more and more things.
And again, my needle isn't at impossible. My needle is just not likely, but I'm open to it.
Right. It's hard for me to be like that because once, when you know something, you know something. And for me and what I know, that's what I know.
I would have to have, and I'm with Gavel. No, but I'm open to the argument and possibility. I am open to it, but I don't have a reason for the government to lie about it. I can't make sense of why would they lie about it. Now, if you gave me motive, like a reason of why they don't want us to know about it, other than it doesn't align with what they told us regarding evolution. Yeah. Then I can agree, which, by the way, like, I don't know if you guys align with what they have told us, but it makes no damn sense. But I could believe that. I don't believe they have been honest regarding our own history. I think they are teaching us falsehoods, but that's the only reason I could think of a reason to lie. Other than that, I haven't seen anything yet to convince me.
I'll get you there.
But I do believe there were giants that roamed this earth, and there's evidence to show that. So is it so crazy that there used to be giant insects, guys?
Right.
Giant insects.
Yuck.
Yeah.
What movie is it that they have those really big centipedes and they fight? Some movie. I don't like that.
I don't know, but Honey, I Shrunk the Kids fucked me with that ant as a kid.
Oh my gosh.
Even though it was a sweet jumbo ant, but still.
Ick.
I don't believe if Bigfoot owns a pumice stone. I'm open to it until they study one or tell us that this is protected species. I'll wait. I do not for 1 minute think we came from apes. Neither do I.
No,
and
I don't
ask yourself, why did some evolve? Some didn't, and there is a jump in our evolutionary history. There is a jump where evolving is a very slow process. Right. And all of a sudden, there is a huge jump to humans, like what we are now. And it doesn't quite make sense. When I found out Lincoln really was, I cried, but my perspective was changed forever. I need evidence for everything. Who Lincoln really was. Oh, okay. There are no small Vietnamese women in the woods. But all right, guys, I don't know. Leave your thoughts down below if you're on replay. I'm open to it. I think we should continue the discussion, but I'm just not there yet, Tess.
I'll get you there, though. I am.
You can get me there.
That means that you didn't say no, which means no is yes or maybe someday.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we hopped around a lot tonight. We touched some fun conspiracies, some more serious ones, but I like just having the discussion. I like talking about them. Yes. But Bigfoot is just particularly one of them that, like, you would think I'd be totally down with, and I'm just not there yet, but I'm open, and I guess we'll see. We'll see what you can bring me. I didn't realize you went on an expedition, though.
I know. There's so much more.
Now our next stream, No Safe Takes Network, will be live Thursday. I believe it is 11 Eastern. Please, someone correct me in the chat if I am wrong, but it will be a day stream, and the host will be Miss Grandma Sherry and Allie. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And that is going to be internet culture. The topic surrounding that is internet culture. And there is a lot of different discussions surrounding that topic that can be had. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring. So also, there are shorts and pre-records that are being uploaded and dropped. Keep your eye out. Make sure your notifications are set for all different topics have been discussed and uploaded on pre-record. So definitely check that out. If you already haven't, hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much, Tess, for joining, and we will see you guys all on Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thanks for the conversation and for keeping it respectful. Oh, and shout out to the replay crew. See you next time.
Hard days you stayed, pulled up, listen, organ clean, kept distance. You could have dipped, you chose to build. We kept it sharp, but we kept it chill. No cheap shots, just real views. Iron on iron, still cool. So thank you for being here. Thank you for talking.